Hello, ladies and gentlemen. This is the Morning Gardener, and just want to talk over a couple points with you. Here's what we got going on. As I said earlier in two of my most recent videos, goes out if you get a chance. But the thing of it is that fertilizer is going to be really expensive this year. Keep that up. Keep that in front of your mind. It's going to be expensive. If you can afford it, be my guest. But there's a better way to go, and namely compost. For those of you that have forgot about compost, it works, how great it grows plants, and the fact that it's free in some cases, which in most cases it is free, whether you use wood chips as compost, leaves as compost, um, I use tree branches, I use everything that I can get a hold of in my on my property as compost. That's organic. So that being said, um, make certain that you keep that in mind. The whole, in a nutshell, is going to be grow a great garden and save money. I should have named the video that. But and the thing about it is you want to be able to learn techniques that will allow you to do that. And one is a ton of videos out there. I've been watching a lot of them. These videos, and these videos are um, definitely videos that make you think. One video says one thing, another video says another thing, and both of them claim that they know, but there's only one true way to go about gardening, and I've done it. Is always follow what nature does. There are no other ways to do it. You can try techniques that you've seen other people do, but the best and cheapest way is to do it the way nature does it. I know I've done it all. I've made all the mistakes that I could possibly make, and I made a lot of mistakes. I saw one video where a gentleman was um, he just kept he he was showing people how to plant a tree. I was just watching it. I said the tree will grow like that, but I don't think you should be. Well, you got to be careful. Let's put it that way. When you're online listening to, everyone learns how to do gardening differently based on what they were taught. Farming, same thing. They learn what they learn and they do it in a way that helps them get the job done. But when you look at the way nature does it just, so natural that plants are superior to plants that are grown the way man intended for it to grow. That's why I'm trying to get everybody back on to um, going back to compost. If you've left compost in the past, go back to compost. Compost, growing things fast is not always really the best way to go. Like using certain chemicals that you can purchase online or in the stores that grow food faster. Um, namely, um, what's it? The name of that one? Miracle Grow. Uh, well known for growing things fast, but is it good? Does it produce a healthy plant? And is it great to grow plants faster than nature intended for them to grow? Because if you grow things too fast, you create another problem on the other end. That being that the plant is so tender, a lot of times bugs will eat them up. So I want to point that out. And the other thing is, um, using natural ingredients just makes food more dense with nutrients, and it creates an environment so that the soil that you're growing it in stays healthy. So I have about 800-900 pounds of compost ready to be used this year, and I'm waiting to get that done. um, because just growing food is going to be high priority on a lot of people's mind this year because of the cost that's going to be associated with food. And I've done it. I've done it where I've substituted so much of my food budget with growing food that I know it works. I've been doing it for 20, going on 22 years. So I want you to know that I'm going to keep these shows coming so I can give as much information as I can to, I have had too much fertilizer. Oh, it keeps blinking away. And so slow down consumption of nutrients. Uh-huh. Let's see. Good evening, morning, God. Thank you very much for stopping in. I'm glad everybody gets a chance to say hello and stop in. But, folks, I just want you to think about that for a second. Nature is the right way to go. It's just the right way to go. Get away from all of the expensive lighting units that people sell online. Get rid of all of that. Get rid of stuff that you're paying $1,200 for a lighting system, and they're swearing it's going to grow a better seedling. The seedling's going to be, it's going to grow faster. Um, you don't have to do any of that because I grow plenty of plants every year, and I use a 4-foot shop light. I paid like $26 for, and two bulbs in it that you know fluorescent bulbs, and that's it. It grows great seedlings, and I use those seedlings. And every year I grow tomatoes, and I grow corn, and I grow everything from peppers, you name it. And I always grow things in bulk. But so keep that in mind, folks. Don't spend all of your money and listen to people on this YouTube that tell you that here, go here and buy this, go here and buy that, go here and buy this, because that's not going to make your gardening any better. It's going to make their pockets fatter, but it's not going to make your garden any better. And I'm constantly seeing people um, on the channels constantly digging, digging in their garden, just constantly digging. Um, if you like digging, that's fine, but you don't have to do that to your garden. You do not have to keep destroying the soil by digging. Or the other thing which they do a lot of, which is tilling, constantly tilling the soil. Farmers, they show farmers today that are still tilling their soil. I mean, that's just so played out. But to each his own. Um, Soil, when it's alive, it's, I mean, really truly healthy soil. It's not dug in all the time. It's not um, chemicals added to it. Some of the biggest and most beautiful plants you'll ever see, if you walk through the forest, some of the older forests, and you look, you will not see anyone fertilizing, watering, composting around it, because all the compost happens naturally in cycles. Um, and right now, my garden is out there right now. It has all the weeds in it from this year. It has all the grass that just simply fell over. It's laying on the surface and it's composting right into the ground. So I'm just saying that if you do gardening naturally, you will see that your soil will go back to being healthier and your soil will go back to being more productive. You don't need to keep adding things from the big box stores to your soil. So keep that in mind, folks. Think about it. You know I'm right. It makes sense. So the lesson for the day or the message for the day is go back to your roots and realize that a lot of these videos that are on YouTube that show you about gardening is there to make money. They are selling everything and swearing it will make your gardening job easier, faster, um, more productive. That's what they're telling you. You're not going to get away from the fact that plants take time to grow. Um, and I say good evening. I say good evening, morning gardener. Good evening, everyone. Thank you very much, everyone, for popping in and saying hello. I appreciate that. But it's going to take time. Plants don't. A plant does not grow from a seedling to holding 60 pounds of tomatoes overnight. Yes, you did catch me. Yes, I appreciate you catching me. Um, and so you want to keep that in mind. You want to keep that in mind. Uh, don't let these videos fool you into thinking the only way to grow a great garden is to go out and keep spending money. That is not. It's got nothing to do with gardening. What grows great plants is when you simply go natural, compost, rainwater. Keep that water, if you can, from your house away from your garden. And you got to find a way to get rainwater into your garden because when you pump that water from your house into your garden, you're creating a problem because it's so full of chemicals. So you want to make certain that you stay natural, and the more natural you can become. And I don't expect anyone to think it's going to happen overnight because it's not. But over time, you'll be able to develop and get a rain barrel system. You can collect your own rain. You'll be able to uh, collect more fertilizer from your yard that's already there. Like me, I have leaves and weeds and the grass clippings and all of that. That helps my garden every year. And it will help your garden if you just remember that everything that happens in nature is cycles. It's a cycle. The leaves fall from the tree, they go back into the ground, they feed the tree, and they go back up into the trees as leaves, and then they drop back down again, and that goes over and over and over and over again. So keep that in mind. This is the Morning Gardener. Let's see, second, fertilizer. Yards are free source of fertilizer. I couldn't have said it better than you just did. Right there, yard is a free source of fertilizer. Everything in your yard is fertilizer. The branches from the trees when you do your pruning, the leaves, the grass, the weeds. Weeds have got it. Weeds got such a bad name. Weeds have such a bad name that, and it's so many. I'm wondering why so many people deem weeds such an evil and horrible thing. But in fact, if you chop those weeds down, you could make some of the best fertilizer on earth from those weeds. You could also make them into liquid fertilizers, and you could also make them into compost. Um, they are great to use, uh, and it also helps to keep the weeds under control if you just simply use them as um, fertilizer. I mean, I've done it and kept it uh, quiet because for years because I didn't think people would understand, but it is a very good source of fertilizer. I mean, I haven't invented it. It's just that some people know about this and they keep it quiet. They keep it absolutely quiet because they don't want to let the public know that if you use the weeds the right way, and if you use your grass the right way, you would buy no fertilizers. You would have healthy plants, and you would go, "Why haven't I been doing this for years? Why haven't I known about this?" Uh, Chop them down, leave them on the ground. Chop them down, leave them on the ground, and they will create over time some of the richest and most fertile soil that you could ever possibly want. This is the Morning Gardener. Thank you very much for tuning in and watching my show. For those who did, and please leave any comments. I appreciate all the comments you can leave, and I do answer my comments section. So I will be doing that. So remember, the Morning Gardener is only here if you want him here. As simple as that. So keep in mind that I have a show that's going to be coming up after this, and I'll get together on a date. But just subscribe, and that way you'll be notified when I go online. Thank you. This is the Morning Gardener. Keep on growing.